stop what you are doing. Put down the coffee, pause your music, and look at your screen. You have been lied to. For the last decade, manufacturers have told us that true, authentic, air-cooled soul was dead, killed off by emission regulations and plastic covers. They told us that if we wanted a retro bike, we had to settle for water radiators disguised as cooling fins. Well, Kawasaki just looked at the rulebook, laughed, and threw it in the trash. The legend is back. The 2026 Kawasaki W650 has arrived, and it is not just a motorcycle, it is a resurrection. If you thought the W800 was the final chapter, you were wrong. This bike features a secret engineering marvel hidden inside the exhaust system that I guarantee you have never seen on a production bike before. We are going to reveal that ghost feature later in this video, and it changes everything about how this bike sounds and feels. Stick around, because the King of Classics has returned to reclaim its throne. The legacy. Why the 650 matters more than the 800. To understand why this 2026 model is such a massive deal, we have to look at the bloodline. When Kawasaki originally launched the W650 in the late 90s, it embarrassed the British competition. It was more authentic, more reliable, and better built than the bikes it was trying to emulate. It became a cult classic, a collector's item, that people refused to sell. When the W800 replaced it, many purists felt something was lost, that eager, high-revving nature of the smaller stroke engine. The 2026 W650 isn't a step backward. It is Kawasaki admitting that the 650cc displacement was the Goldilocks zone all along. It brings back that sweet, rev-happy character that makes you want to wring the throttle, rather than just lazying along in top gear. This isn't just a nostalgic nod, it's a correction of history. Aesthetics and build quality, heavy metal in a plastic world. Let's walk around this machine visually. In a world full of matte plastic and faux carbon fiber, the 2026 W650 feels like it was carved out of a solid block of history. Kawasaki has utilized a new liquid glass painting process for the tank. Whether you choose the metallic Diablo Black or the Candy Cardinal Red, the finish is so deep it looks wet to the touch. The fenders? Real steel. The side covers? Real metal. The badges are heavy, chromed emblems, not cheap stickers. The attention to detail is borderline obsessive. Even the turn signals, which are usually the first thing you swap out on a new bike, are designed with a brushed aluminum finish that mimics the custom parts from the 1960s. It's heavy, it feels substantial between your legs, and it vibrates, with a sense of purpose that lightweight modern bikes just can't replicate. The engine, the return of the bevel gear tower. Now, we arrive at the crown jewel, the heart of the 2026 W650. Kawasaki knows that the soul of the W series lives in the right side of the engine cylinder head, the bevel gear cam drive. Look at that chrome vertical shaft climbing up the side of the engine. That is not decoration. That is mechanical art. Instead of a boring chain hidden inside the engine to spin the camshafts, this bike uses a complex set of gears and a vertical shaft. It is expensive to manufacture, it is intricate, and it creates a distinct mechanical whir sound that is music to a gearhead's ears. The 2026 engine is an air-cooled parallel twin that pumps out a healthy 52 horsepower, significantly more spirited than its predecessor. They have redesigned the cooling fins to be thinner and deeper, allowing for legitimate air cooling even in Euro 5+ compliance, minimizing the need for an ugly radiator. Ergonomics and the cockpit. Analog joy. Digital secret. Sitting on the bike. The ergonomics define neutral perfection. The handlebars have been slightly lowered compared to the 2025 W800, giving you a slightly more aggressive, engaged stance without breaking your back. The tuck and roll seat is wide and uses a new, high-density memory foam that provides all-day comfort while looking period correct. But look at the dash. You see two beautiful analog clocks, a speedometer and a tachometer, with classic needles. However, the faces of these dials are actually smart glass. When the bike is off, They look like vintage paper dials. When you turn the key, the background subtly illuminates with turn-by-turn navigation arrows and smartphone notifications, ghosted right into the dial face. It keeps the vintage aesthetic 100% intact while giving you the tech you actually need. The ride, handling, and braking. On the road, the 2026 W650 sheds the wobbly reputation of the vintage bikes. The frame has been stiffened at the steering. Head and the front forks, while looking like standard telescopic units, actually contain progressive cartridge internals. This means when you hit a pothole, it's plush, but when you dive into a corner, it stays composed. Braking is handled by a large single disc up front with a Brembo caliper, a massive upgrade from the Tokiko units of the past, linked to a dual-channel ABS system that is sensitive enough to not intervene unless absolutely necessary. The bike feels light on its feet, flickable in traffic, and stable on the highway. It encourages you to lean, to push, and to play. The surprise. The acoustic spirit valve. I promised you a surprise that would blow your mind, and here it is. The biggest complaint with modern retro bikes is the sound. They usually sound like sewing machines because of strict noise laws. Kawasaki has patented a new technology for the 2026 W650 called the acoustic spirit valve, located in the mid-pipe of the exhaust. This is a mechanical butterfly valve controlled by the ride modes. In standard mode, the bike whispers, keeping the neighbors happy. But switch the bike into heritage mode, and the valve bypasses the tertiary baffle chamber. This isn't a speaker playing fake sound. This is physical airflow redirection. The IOS result, a deep, throaty, popping exhaust note that sounds like a 1960s Triumph Bonneville with straight pipes. It is fully legal because it closes automatically at specific testing RPMs. But for the rider, it provides that visceral, thumping soundtrack we have all been craving. It is the closest thing to a factory-installed straight-pipe system we have ever seen. Verdict, who is this for? So, is the 2026 Kawasaki W650 for you? If you care about 0-60 times and top speed, go buy a Ninja. This bike isn't about how fast you get there, it's about how you feel while you're going. It is for the rider who parks their bike and looks back at it 3 times before walking away. It is for the rider who appreciates the mechanical symphony of a bevel gear drive and the feeling of polished steel. Kawasaki hasn't just built a retro bike. They have built a time machine that actually works in the modern world. Conclusion and call to action. The W650 proves that, while technology moves forward, style is eternal. It is a masterpiece of engineering that refuses to compromise on character. The king is back, and long may he reign. If you enjoyed this exclusive look at the future of retro motorcycling, I have a small favor to ask. We are working hard to bring you the most detailed reviews on the internet, so please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We have a comparison coming up next week putting this W650 against the Royal Enfield Interceptor, and the results will shock you. Thank you. For watching Bike Updater Pro, keep the rubber side down, and I will see you in the next video.